You're hitting the gym 5 days a week, you're pushing your sets to absolute failure, you're religious about your protein intake, and yet, when you look in the mirror, the results just don't match the effort. Welcome to Dr. Levitas. You don't look like an elite athlete, you look soft. Your muscles lack that hardness, and no matter how much cardio you do, that belly fat stays exactly where it is. But your training isn't the problem. What if the very thing that's supposed to be helping you grow is actually the thing eating you alive? Today, we are dismantling the cortisol-muscle paradox. The viral truth that most hardcore fitness influencers ignore is that stress is a physical, biological thief. We are talking about cortisol, the survival hormone. Its primary job is to break down your tissue to keep you alive during a perceived emergency. If your cortisol is chronically high, you are essentially melting your gains from the inside out. We're going to dissect how stress physically blocks your T, why a 90-minute workout might be making you smaller, and the specific anabolic walking protocol that can harden your physique faster than another heavy squat session ever could. And please take a second to hit like and leave a comment. Your support is a huge help to the channel. To understand the paradox, we have to look at what cortisol actually is. In the medical world, we call it a catabolic hormone. While anabolic means to build up, catabolic means to break down. Evolutionarily, this was a masterpiece of survival. If a predator was chasing your ancestors, their bodies didn't care about maintaining a bicep peak. They cared about having immediate energy in the blood to power the heart and lungs. To get that energy, cortisol initiates a process called gluconeogenesis. It literally harvests fat or amino acids from your hard-earned muscle tissue and converts them into glucose, pure sugar, to fuel the fight or flight response. The problem is that in 2026, the predator isn't a lion. It's a work deadline, a lack of sleep, or chronic financial stress. If you are chronically stressed, your body thinks the tiger is always behind you. You are constantly bleeding muscle tissue into your bloodstream just to maintain your stress levels. You might be training to build muscle for 1 hour, but your hormones are spending the other 23 hours tearing it down for fuel. This leads us to the most frustrating physique in the gym, the skinny fat look. Have you ever wondered why high stress makes you look this way specifically? It comes down to how cortisol manages fat distribution. While it's busy breaking down muscle in your limbs for energy, it's doing the exact opposite in your midsection. Your abdominal fat cells have 4 times more glucocorticoid receptors, essentially cortisol docks, than the fat on the rest of your body. When cortisol is chronically elevated, it activates an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase. This enzyme's job is to pull fat out of the blood and shove it directly into your deep visceral belly fat. This creates a metabolic nightmare. You end up with the thin, catabolic limbs of someone who doesn't lift, paired with the soft, stubborn midsection of someone who doesn't watch their diet. You aren't fat in the traditional sense. You are hormonally displaced. You are essentially carrying your stress around your waistline. If cortisol were just about energy, it would be bad enough. But it goes deeper than that. Cortisol is the direct antagonist to your T. In a healthy, low-stress environment, T binds to androgen receptors to signal muscle protein synthesis. But in the world of biochemistry, cortisol and T are like 2 people fighting for the same seat on a crowded bus. When cortisol levels are high, they physically interfere with the signaling of testosterone at the cellular level. This means you could have normal testosterone levels on a blood test, but if your cortisol is sky high, that testosterone can't do its job. The message to build muscle is being drowned out by the message to break down for survival. Research published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning. Research shows that the T to cortisol ratio is the single most accurate predictor of an athlete's recovery and growth potential. If that ratio is skewed toward cortisol, you are spinning your wheels in the gym, regardless of how much protein you eat. This brings us to a hard truth for the gym rats who spend 2 hours in the weight room. Your marathon workouts are likely making you look worse. For a natural lifter, a workout is a race against the clock. When you start lifting, your body releases a surge of T and growth hormone. But after about 45 to 60 minutes of intense physical stress, the hormonal tide shifts. Your glycogen stores begin to run dry, and your central nervous system begins to redline. The body responds to this emergency by dumping massive amounts of cortisol to keep the engine running. If you continue to train for another 30 or 40 minutes, you are training in a high cortisol, low testosterone environment. You are causing more muscle damage than your body has the hormonal resources to repair. Most natural athletes would see significantly better results, harder muscles, and less belly fat, by cutting their volume in half and focusing on 45 minutes of absolute, high-intensity focus. In the world of cortisol, more is definitely not better. So how do we fight back when life gets stressful? One of the most underrated tools in my clinical kit is a phospholipid called phosphatidylserine. It's a component of your cell membranes, particularly in the brain, and it acts as a primary regulator of the HPA axis, the system that controls your stress response. A landmark study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition demonstrated that supplementing with 600 to 800 milligrams of phosphatidylserine can blunt the exercise-induced cortisol response by nearly 30% without affecting the growth hormone response. By taking it post-workout, you are essentially sending a ceasefire signal to your brain. You are telling the body, the tiger is gone. You can stop the catabolism. This allows the anabolic window to actually open, shifting your body from breakdown mode to repair mode almost immediately. You can't out-train a lack of sleep, period. When you are sleep-deprived, your body perceives a state of metabolic emergency. Research shows that just one night of 4 hours of sleep can raise your evening cortisol levels by as much as 37%. When you don't sleep, your insulin sensitivity plummets. Your body becomes resistant to the very hormone that helps you shuttle nutrients into your muscle cells. To compensate for this perceived lack of energy, your body does exactly what we discussed earlier. It breaks down your muscle tissue to create sugar to keep your tired brain awake. If you are training hard but only sleeping 5 or 6 hours, you are essentially paying for your gym membership with your own muscle tissue. You will stay skinny, fat, and soft forever until you prioritize that 8-hour sleep window where actual repair happens. Finally, let's talk about the most powerful muscle-hardening exercise you aren't doing: walking. Most people think that to burn that soft belly fat, they need to do HIIT or high-intensity interval training or grueling runs. But if your cortisol is already high, HIIT is just adding more fuel to the fire. It's yet another stressor that demands a catabolic response. Walking is different. Low-intensity steady-state movement, or LISS, stimulates blood flow and lymphatic drainage without triggering a cortisol response. In fact, walking in nature, what the Japanese call shinrin-yoku, has been clinically shown to significantly lower salivary cortisol levels. I call this anabolic walking. It burns calories and improves insulin sensitivity while switching your body from fight or flight to rest and digest. It's the only form of cardio that actually helps you hold onto muscle by lowering the total stress load on your system. The doctor's verdict: a motivational shift. The Cortisol-Muscle Paradox proves that the gym is only 20% of the equation. You cannot bully your body into growth if your hormones think you're in a war zone. If you want that hard, athletic look, you have to earn it with your recovery just as much as your repetition count. Stop training like a maniac and living like a zombie. Lower the stress, manage the cortisol, and watch as your muscles finally start to hold that density and hardness you've been working so hard for. You don't need more sweat, you need more peace. You have the tools now, use them to stop the theft of your gains. I'm Dr. Levitas, helping you build a body that's as strong as it looks. Watch this video suggestion, it was especially picked for you. Also share, comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos to empower your health and fitness journey. So, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep going.